Hey folks, welcome to another AnglersChannel.com video exclusive. It's Thursday, April the 19th. Pro staffer Rob Dye joins us once again from Denver, North Carolina. Rob, a lot of tournaments this weekend. We are in the heartbeat of the bass fishing season, and we're going to cover several of those events here in just a second. But let's talk about just how good the weights have been just kind of around the region. You know, we got an EverStart that started this morning down on Santee Cooper. I think a lot of guys are really looking forward to see what goes on down at Santee because it's just been phenomenal so far.
Yeah, that lake's come back, John, and with the grass, it's got eel grass, a lot of gator grass, and you're going to see some big weights coming down there today. I don't think the weights are going to be real deep in the field, but you're going to see a lot of guys come in with maybe 3 or 4 fish. It's going to be pushing the 20-pound mark. The fishing is getting a little tougher down there. The fish are done spawning and they're trying to pull out off the bank, but you're going to have a 25 or 30-pound bag to lead that thing today.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Now, team trails. We've talked about team trails and the resurgence of team trails in 2012. The Carolinas Bass Challenge is back up on deck again at Lake Norman this weekend. I believe you're fishing that. Am I right?
No, I'm fishing the Bassmaster weekend at High Rock this weekend. I'm going over there, and you're going to see some good weights on Norman. The shad are starting to spawn this weekend, and it's going to take a really good bag of fish to win that tomorrow, and somebody's going to win a bunch of money. Well,
the money payouts have been incredible. You know, the average first-place payout for the Carolinas Bass Challenge this year in both divisions is $10,000 for first place. Second place is $4,900. Third place is $2,650. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and you're going to see, maybe even more tomorrow. It might be $12,000 or $13,000 for first place because there's going to be a bunch of guys fishing tomorrow.
Yeah, if it's over 200 boats, then you're exactly right. Let's talk about the Bassmaster Weekend Series at High Rock Lake, a lake that we haven't talked a whole lot about this year, but right now up there the quality should be fantastic.
It should be, John, but the reports that I've been getting, the fishing's been really tough at High Rock. It's been taking 12 or 13 pounds to win tournaments. And what's going on, the sight fishing, that's not a great sight fishing lake because it stays so dirty all the time. It's a river, basically, with some creeks off of it. But some of the fish are on the bed, some of them's off the bed. So we had some, pretty good storms last night and the night before. So maybe the water will get dirty and come up, and you'll see the weights increase. The fish are in there, but it's fishing pretty difficult right now. So I'm looking, it's probably going to be a tough tournament regardless of what the weather does. It's supposed to be stormy Saturday, but reports over the last 2 weeks, it's just been down over at High Rock.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because normally this time of year, it's not uncommon to hear about a lot of 6, 7, 8-pound quality fish being caught there. There's so many tournaments going on, folks, that we can't even begin. We're just scratching the surface. Make sure you go to the tournaments page on AnglersChannel.com and just click on open tournaments, click on team trails, and get a real good idea of just what is happening right now because it's tremendous. Rob, there's I believe a benefit tournament on Clarks Hill this weekend that we're going to try to get down and cover. That's another lake we haven't talked a lot about, but it has come back somewhat from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's the same deal down there. When those herons start spawning, and they're going to be spawning this weekend probably, you're going to see the weights jump up. That lake particularly on the lower end is a clear lake, and the fish get tougher to catch. But with these storms we had come through, it's been a pretty dry spring, so you're going to see maybe the water get dirty a little bit, and these shads start spawning, the weights of the fish are going to go up.
Well, we look forward to seeing what happens there. And finally, we got the Bassmaster Elite Series. They're down on Bull Shoals this weekend.
Yeah, I talked to, one of my friends, and he says he's catching a lot of the fish, but not catching many big ones. So we'll see what happens out there. It's a lake I'm not too familiar with, hadn't been there, so it's going to be interesting to watch the weigh-in.
Well, you look at those guys month in, month out, tournament in, tournament out, and it's just amazing. It really is almost a crapshoot for all of them at a lot of these fisheries outside of a few because they're all just so doggone good.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you got to be so versatile when you go to these different lakes, and you're going to see some good weights even come in if the lake's not really producing big fish, there's always going to be a couple of those guys come in with some really nice bags of fish, and it comes from experience and expertise, John.
How many, last but not least, how many boats do you expect to see up at the Bassmaster Weekend Series on High Rock this weekend?
Well, all the Bassmaster Weekend Series tournaments in North Carolina are right on top of the not the Cat Trail, but the
CBC.
CBC. So you're going to see probably around 35 to 40 boats. You know, with them putting those tournaments on top of these other team tournaments, they're just not going to draw the crowd, and the guys are going to go where the money's at. I enjoy fishing team tournaments, but I really enjoy, you know, fishing one-on-one, and that's the reason I'm fishing the Bassmaster weekend. And, you know, it's just it's something that I really enjoy doing. And some of these guys that's fishing the team tournaments, they're splitting the cost, and you can definitely make more money fishing the team trails. But like I say, the one-on-one competition, it really drives me, John.
Hey, speaking of one-on-one, the last tournament we're going to talk about today is the Oakley Big Bass Series. Just was up at Lake Norman this past weekend, and Chad Schroeder and his son Austin won the $30,000 boat package. They're at Smith Mountain Lake this Saturday and Sunday. You know, I think people are really gravitating to that format where if you catch one big fish, you not only get paid for that hour, you could walk away with a $30,000 boat.
Yeah, you can, and you know that's another thing. You can fish that as a team or individual. And me and my son fished it as a team, and you know the Schroeder boys, they had a 5-something bass,
547.
Yeah, 547, and won a new boat. And you know, for 2 days of fishing, it's $150. You can't beat that nowhere. I mean, that's a heck of a deal. And those guys paid, you know, 7 hours, and they paid 5 spots an hour. So you can do the math, and there was a lot of money given out down here Saturday. You're going to see some big fish brought in at Smith Mountain, and you're going to see a big crowd up there because I'd like to see more of those type tournaments. I really enjoy them. I think it's good for the fish. You don't have a live well full of fish, so it's going to be a good deal. I think you're going to see more of it in the future.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, man, best of luck to you up at the Rock this weekend. And, again, folks, don't forget, if you're looking for a tournament to fish or check out, just go to the tournaments page on anglerschannel.com, and we'll see you next week.